everyone. Welcome. It is Thursday, May 28th, and this is Seeking Sustainability Live number 20 with Robin Lewis. Yay!
Hello, everyone.
Do you want
Thank you
to?
for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. I know you're super busy. So exciting to have you.
No, I'm super excited to be here, so thank you.
Awesome. I think, this is Seeking Sustainability Live is a new series I'm trying to do just sparked during coronavirus. But you were one of my first interviews 8 months ago, right? Doing like a Skype
That's right.
live. And that was,
I feel like it's been about 2 years, but
right?
it's 8 months.
And that was right before you launched MyMizu. I mean, that was a massive. Well, you've done so much. We're going to talk about all the great stuff you've done since then. Selena just joined, said, "Yay, hello." Thank
Brilliant.
you.
Yeah, I feel like I've aged significantly since our last call, but it's been a very intense and very enjoyable 8 months. So it's great to reconnect here
Oh,
with you.
for sure. Onizaru says hello from Twitch. Thank you for joining from Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube. So many channels today.
Wow.
So exciting. Someday also Instagram, I hope. Instagram is really hard to go live from. You guys have been doing a great job with your Instagram. Well done.
Thank you very much. It's my team. I have some phenomenal team members doing.
You guys are awesome.
Media, so.
You have all that young energy. I love it. All right, let's start with a little intro because people might not have watched the one 8 months ago. You want to just introduce yourself briefly?
Sure. So my name's Robin Lewis. I am the co-founder of Social Innovation Japan. And right now, my main focus is MyMizu, which is an initiative to tackle the big issue of single-use plastic here in Japan and around the world.
Yeah, huge. I've got your little bio here. It says co-founder MyMizu. So you're not the founder of MyMizu, and we never talk about the other co-founder. So can you introduce her a little bit?
Of course, yes. She's the brains, and I am the. I don't know what I am. I'm just the guy who sends parcels and things. But yeah, my co-founder is called Mariko. She is also half Japanese and half English. And so, yeah, we've been working on this together for almost a year now. So time is passing very quickly. But,
yeah, that's awesome.
Mariko's the other.
And Mariko is actually, she's hosting a lot of the live stream chats on Instagram, right? Like you've had some MyMizu Ambassadors. That's all Mariko, right? Or is that both of you?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I've joined for I think one, but yeah, Mariko is doing a lot of the Insta lives, and actually some of our team members will also be hosting some of them going forward. So nice. It's myself, Mariko, and we also have this phenomenal team of very talented and very dedicated people. So we're super lucky to have such a great team.
Yeah, I think we're going to see photos of your whole team later. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about the concept of MyMizu? How did it come about?
Sure. So the issue that we're trying to address is the issue of single-use plastic. Specifically, as a first step, we're looking at plastic bottles. So globally right now, we use about 1 million single-use plastic bottles every single minute, and we don't recycle about 90%. And in Japan, we use roughly 25 billion with a B every single year. And that's enough to go around the world about 128 times. So we use a lot of plastic bottles. We also use a lot of plastic packaging, as you I'm sure are more than aware. Globally right now, we are second in the world in terms of plastic packaging waste production per capita. And so it's a very big environmental issue. So what we do as MyMizu is we have a very simple offering. We help people to refill their bottles like this, or the one that I have, the MyMizu bottle here. And we basically help connect people to free water points in Japan and also around the world. So in Japan right now, we have about 5,800 locations where you can refill your bottle for free. That includes public places like cafes and public places like parks and train stations, but also we have these partner cafes and restaurants where you can go in not even without being a customer, you can get a free water refill and walk right out as well. So we have this new ecosystem that we've established where people can get free water wherever they go.
Yeah,
And through that we have
if you go to the MyMizu website, a fantastic website, and you guys are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you have a great website as well. And this is from your website page, and you say what you do is MyMizu app, MyMizu Store, MyMizu education, collaborations, and partnerships. Do you want to
That's right.
introduce so the app? I was really excited since the last time we talked. I had a bit of a journey with my MyMizu experience because I was.
Thank you for being such a great. You are phenomenal.
Oh really? Thank you. I try so hard, but I had some hurdles. I was helping you try out the beta for the iPhone.
Yes, that's right.
Right? And then I changed phones to an Android, so I couldn't use it for a while. But then you guys launched the Android, so it's on all platforms now.
That's right. We're on iOS and Android.
Very good. You guys are amazing. You're doing a great job. So the MyMizu Store, is kind of new. Do you want to introduce the MyMizu Store?
Sure. So the store we launched on April the 22nd to celebrate Earth Day, and we're not just a regular store. So we don't just sell stuff for the sake of it. We sell primarily these kinds of bottles. We also sell T-shirts and other items as well. And the idea is that we're helping people to shift to a more sustainable lifestyle. So every item that you buy, whether it's a reusable bottle or a T-shirt, we ensure that we collect about 1 kilogram of waste from rivers, from oceans, from beaches. And so the part of the money that is spent on the store is then funneled towards beach cleaning activities as well.
And
so it's kind of a store.
Do you guys do that just with your team? Especially now with coronavirus, it's hard to do the cleanups, right?
No, exactly. Yeah. So this has been a challenge, but honestly, we're hoping that when things clear up, we can do much bigger, community-driven cleanups, not just in Tokyo, but all over Japan as well. So that's part of our big roadmap going forward once this settles down.
Yeah, definitely. One of the we were doing monthly cleanups as well, and one of the things that I suggested now is if you do your walks, if you do your jogs by yourself, because you have to keep exercising, do plugging. You know plugging?
Yes, I love plugging.
Plastic jogging, right? Plastic pickup jogging. For me, it's plucking, plastic walking.
Yeah, that's still legit. That's still a good activity.
Another thing you were doing is MyMizu education, which of course you had to put on hold now too. Are you doing more stuff online? Well, we have some photos of stuff you've been doing online, but of course you were visiting universities and offices.
Yeah, so that's been a big part of our mission from the very beginning. So the app is a central tool for what we want to achieve, but our bigger mission is to help shift consumer behavior. So it's more of an educational awareness raising aspect that we also have to bring to the table. So as part of that, for the past in the past 9 months, we've done almost 100 seminars, talks, workshops at schools, universities, companies, all kinds of different places where we talk about sustainability, about plastic consumption, and we try and engage people in the issue in a really fun and creative way. Since the pandemic has begun, of course, this has radically shifted or affected our operations. And we are doing now workshops and talks and things online. And so one of the fun things that we did recently was we partnered with a group of students, a group of middle school and high school students, and we did an idea-thon where we basically split into groups and we come up with new ideas to tackle the issue of plastic waste. So we are shifting a lot of our educational content online, and we're actually seeing a phenomenal opportunity here because now there's no geographic boundary, right? So we're actually very positive in this regard, and we hope to do more online activities going forward.
That's great. Is that the sustainable game you were talking about?
That's right, yeah. They're a really cool organization run by middle and high school students, extremely active and really wonderful people. And actually, going forward, we're doing a big event around World Oceans Day, which is June the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be announcing that in the coming days.
Great. Yeah, and you, like I said, you guys have been very active on Instagram. For
Yeah.
example, you had an event today, right? Every Thursday.
Today,
Every Thursday?
actually, no, now we actually have an Insta Live. We do an Instagram Live session every week. It's usually Saturdays, but
Oh,
we are
okay.
looking to shift towards Wednesdays because of Suyobi
I
music,
see.
like
I see.
Water Day. So that's part of the plan going forward. But we do have weekly online events of some kind. Yeah.
Great. Let's look a little bit at the tracking feature for the app. Can you
Sure.
introduce that?
Yeah, so the tracking feature is something we launched in January 2020, and it's a very simple idea. So every time that someone refills their bottle, it can be one of these, it can be anything. They can just simply click refill on the app, and then it helps them to calculate how many plastic bottles they've saved, as well as how many CO2 emissions they've saved, and water drunk, as well as what's the other one? Money saved as well. So every time that you're
Mm-hmm.
refilling your bottle instead of buying a plastic bottle, you have all of these benefits that directly come to you. So we're helping people track those merits, and through that provide incentivization to you continue refilling people's bottles as well.
So this is a reason you guys have to get on Twitch. One of the comments just now is sick app, bro.
I like whoever said that.
Dr.
Thank you.
Samuel Funk. We like that comment. Sick app, bro. Yes, definitely. It is a sick app.
I should put that on the website as a testimonial.
I think you should. Let's talk a little bit. So collaboration. You've had some great collaboration recently. The OED collaboration. You want to introduce that?
Yes. Sure, we've been very fortunate in that we've found these phenomenal partners to work with, both from private sector, but also government and also nonprofits as well. So we're really kind of reaching beyond just the kind of civil society sector. Regarding Audi, we've been working with them since late last year, and actually they supported us to create this tracking function in the app,
Okay.
as well as also we've worked with them to essentially remove all water bottles from their main office, for example. And so it's a very kind of win-win situation where we're aligned with their vision for sustainability as well. On top of that, we're also working with a renewable energies company called Shizen Energy, Shizen Denyoku.
So
And
MyMizu
together
Denki, right? Mm-hmm.
Exactly, yeah. So we created a brand of renewable energies called MyMizu Denki, which can be used in homes, in stores. I myself am on MyMizu Denki in my house, and I've been pleasantly surprised. It's 100% renewable energy, and it's actually cheaper than my previous provider of energy.
That's awesome. Yeah, we have solar, so we were getting the feed-in tariff back from our supplier, but then that's limited to 10 years, so that just finished. So I've been wanting to sign up with them. Is the process fairly easy, straightforward?
Well, funny you ask. We actually made a series of videos that we posted on Instagram where we had a competition between someone who was signing up for MyMizu Denki on the internet and someone who was eating a burrito, right? So eating a burrito can be like, 10 minutes? But every time the person signing up for MyMizu Denki won the competition. So it's quicker to switch your house electricity than to eat a burrito or a sandwich.
That must be a big burrito or a big sandwich. But I had a look, and there is it's pretty straightforward. You answer certain questions. There were just certain questions I wasn't sure about, which numbers you have, if you have like an electric meter, that kind of stuff. So, but they do have a helpline, and you do need to do it in Japanese, right?
That is right. Yeah. As of now, there's only Japanese language customer service, but I think they're potentially looking into expanding that going forward as well.
Awesome. But it's such a fantastic initiative that no matter where you are in the country, as long as you have electricity coming from the grid, you can sign up with them and get your electricity coming in from renewable
Right,
sources,
and that's
right?
one of the easiest things we can do. We
Oh my
often talk about
gosh.
how can we be more sustainable.
Yeah,
Well, energy is one of the most impactful and also one of the simplest things that we can do from today. So it's a
definitely.
great partnership.
It's awesome. And then you said events with major sports and outdoor brands. You want to introduce some of the activities you guys did with sports?
Sure. So we've done, for example, yoga or taken part in yoga events where we introduced MyMizu. We're also doing a collaboration with an outdoors company from next month, from June. So watch this space. We're also announcing a partnership, hopefully next week, with a major company as well around, of course, all around sustainability. So it's a really exciting time for us. And as we emerge from or as we hopefully begin to emerge from this coronavirus situation, we see a phenomenal amount of potential for more sustainability initiatives. So it's an exciting time.
Great. We had a comment from Lee Ridgewell from Facebook. She says, wow, want to look into MyMizu Denki. Great. We've introduced MyMizu Denki to another person. Go through the MyMizu website to get the link, and then you guys get credit, right?
That's right. Yeah, and it doesn't. You're not paying extra for us or anything. It's all part of the package. And as I say, in my case, it ended up cheaper than my non-renewable energy. So, it's a pretty good service.
That's awesome. You sent me a great image about progress. What have you guys done so far? So how many downloads? You had 27,000 downloads from 40 countries within 8 months, not 80 months.
Well, I hope not 18 months.
No.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Again, I mean, this all kind of builds back to the Kickstarter campaign. And from that time that we had that very first conversation, we've just been overwhelmed at the amount of interest and support from people all over Japan and all over the world. So in terms of metrics, we've hit, as you mentioned, 27,000 downloads, mainly in Japan, if I'm completely honest, but also in Australia, the US, Singapore, all over the world. So we're really, really grateful for that. On top of that, in terms of the actual number of plastic bottles that we've tracked over 12,000 bottles, which is quite a lot. I mean, we did a calculation. It's something like 4 kilometers of, if you put them end to end, you could go 4 kilometers down the road, right? So it's quite a lot of plastic that we've saved. And these are just the ones that we've tracked. On top of that, we now have almost 500 registered shops and businesses that are part of the MyMizu ecosystem too. So we've had this very organic growth, and it's really thanks to people like yourself and other people who are really passionate about sustainability that we can credit this growth.
That's great. Yeah, congratulations. That's really great progress within 8 months. Wow, good job.
Thank you.
And I remember when MyMizu app first started being available, and you did a trip to Oita, was it? And
yes.
You want to tell that story?
Yeah, this kind of brings you back to the beginning of MyMizu. So one of the reasons that myself and my co-founder started MyMizu was a trip to Okinawa. We went to a beautiful island called Miyakojima. Stunning
I love Miyakojima. Yeah,
it's beautiful. But we were surrounded by all these beautiful beaches and stunning scenery. But then one day we went for a walk along a deserted beach, and we just found these huge piles of rubbish, and a lot of it, the majority, was plastic waste. And so when we saw this, we thought, this is crazy. Like, Japan is one of the cleanest countries in the world, and I hadn't really seen anything like this. And that was the moment when we thought, okay, let's fix this. And the easiest thing, the lowest hanging fruit is bottled water. The market is growing every year, and yet we have perfectly clean, healthy, safe drinking water in this country. So generating this kind of waste is not necessary.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning. But going back to the Oita story, so about I think a year ago. No, it was probably about 5 months ago. I went to Oita for the Rugby World Cup, which I had a great time. And I was again walking along a beach, and the same thing happened. I just came across this ginormous pile of plastic waste, and so I spent I think about an hour by myself just picking up PET bottles. And by the end of this hour, just one person, I had over 10 bags of just plastic bottles on one stretch of beach.
It's crazy.
And luckily, I didn't have a plan to get rid of it. So I was like, what am I going to do with all these bags of rubbish? But I took it to the nearest convenience store. And the lady who was running it was like, oh, sure, yeah, we'll take it for you, kind of thing.
Oh, that's nice.
And kind of gave me yeah, it was a really nice moment.
That's often a question we get asked when you do the cleanups. What do you do with the garbage? So we always try to sort it. You know, you put the PET bottles together, you put the cans together. Any PET bottles and cans, you can actually take back to the machine and put it in the bin, because it does get recycled, some of it. And then the rest, there are some parks where they have the sorting stations and they'll take it. So I've been to cleanups around Tokyo, and they have like along the Tama River, and they have these sorting stations, and they've been very happy to take it because it's so obviously not our trash, right? Like they knew we were cleaning up, so that was nice.
No, and we've organized kind of large-scale beach cleanups and stuff, and usually we get permission from the local government, and we make sure there's a very clear and comprehensive plan to get rid of it, because it's irresponsible if you just dump waste.
Definitely.
Right? So we tend to have a plan whenever we do organized ones, but this one in Oita was more of like a spontaneous incident, and it ended up being okay.
Yeah. If you're doing small ones, it's usually not too hard, or you can just take it home, put it out with your own trash. But if you're doing big ones, definitely you should call the garbage center on your poster, and they'll give you bags and they'll pick it up. So definitely, if you got a big one, you can arrange it. I was complimenting you guys before about how amazing your Instagram game is, that you guys are on the Instagram game. So I really like that you've been doing the lives, the Instagram lives. It's not easy. Of all the different social media to do lives on, I think it's probably one of the harder platforms. But you guys have had some great guest speakers and everything. How has it been going on Instagram Live?
No, thank you so much for your feedback. And honestly, we're relatively new. I'm not the most Instagram, what's the word? I'm not exactly an Instagram connoisseur. Like I use it and stuff, but luckily I have a team of people who are just phenomenally talented and who know what they're doing. Thank God. And what we do is we essentially we do Insta Lives with guests, not just from the sustainability world, but also with our MyMizu Ambassadors, who are sports people, activists, photographers, all kinds of fascinating people. And we've seen a really positive response. Again, it seems like people are so interested in sustainability, and they're just looking for content, for ways to engage. And Insta Live has been a really great way of us to connect with our community, because people comment, people give us questions, and it's a really great way of building community. So that's been a strong learning point for us, and we hope to do it more going forward.
Yeah, fantastic. And one thing, I was talking to Denise the other day. She's just trying to start up her own company in Tokyo. And she's struggling with the whole, how do I go onto social media? She's just starting to get started. And one of the things that I noticed you guys are doing so well is that you're showing behind the scenes of MyMizu. You're showing that you guys are real people, that you guys have personalities, that you guys are drinking coffee or stretching, or, like all the quirky stuff is so important, that it's not like you learn in business school, you have to have polished marketing. Throw that out the window. Now for social media marketing, everybody wants to see who you are, who is the founder. And then they're interested in you. They're interested in the brand, right? So it's like a whole new world, I think. And you guys are doing it really well.
Thank you so much. And I mean, I completely agree with you. I think it's all about authenticity, right? People want to know, they don't want to see you at your best light every single time, right? I mean, I remember one of my team members posted a video of me trying to eat a banana and failing, right? And so the banana was like all over my shirt. And that was like, that got a lot of great engagement because it's
Of
like, oh, this
course.
guy's, a moron. But it was really good content. And so this is kind of the kind of thing that you need to have perhaps in this new age where people really appreciate that kind of authenticity and to get to know behind the scenes operations and so on. So that's been a great learning as well.
Yeah, definitely. And just have like a candid chat. Have you ever listened to Gary Vee? He's someone I listen to a lot, and he's so inspiring, right? And he's always saying about that, be authentic, right? Be yourself. And then people will react positively to that. I think especially because you're working in sustainability, people are skeptical, right? They have to be, because there are big companies who are saying we're green and they're not, So that's really important. You guys are transparent. It's really great.
And there's a really big difference between doing serious things and being serious, right? This is a debate that I've been hearing recently a lot. What we're doing, tackling plastic waste, it's an environmental crisis, it's a human health crisis. It's a big problem.
Yeah.
But if we're all looking very serious and
in your suits,
not doing it in a fun way, and we're in our suits, it's very hard to approach someone and be like, cool, I want to be part of this. But if you can do something serious in a non-serious, creative, and fun way, I think that's how you draw people in, and that's how you create community. So that's been a really core part of what we do from day one, is having that fun and light-hearted element, even though we're dealing with something that's so serious and so tragic in many ways.
Definitely. One other thing that you did, I really thought you guys did well on Instagram, was talking about your Kickstarter. So when you're raising money, and you guys had your own, what do you call it? It's not a channel, but it's a special feature on Instagram where you can put a series, right? And you guys had your Kickstarter series there. So people who support you could get updates and tell their friends, oh, come on, they're so close. And come on, let's donate a little bit more, right? Like you kept all the supporters there with you as you guys were challenging that campaign. And well done for hitting your target. Woo!
Thank you. It's thanks to you and also all the people who helped us out. I mean, we were blown away. We hit our initial target within 48 hours, which, again, no one expected, right? And then from there, we just went higher and higher and higher. And unlike many Kickstarter campaigns, it's not like we're selling a brand new product, like some kind of coffee machine that does X, Y, Z. We were just basically saying, hey, we would love your support to make something happen. And we were just, again, blown away, overwhelmed by the positive support. So that was a really great
And you had some good merch. Look.
Yes, thank you. That's it. That's the beauty there.
So if you were one of the early donators up to a certain amount, you got some merch, and then that's more branding, right? Because then you've got the logo, you've got stickers. It's all good. You guys did it well. And then you guys are great at saying thank you, showing appreciation to your fans. Like if I do an Instagram story, you guys always reshare it. And I love this one from Echo de Eco. We're going to talk to her next week, a week from today. And she is a big fan of MyMizu, and you guys reshared her story, and it's awesome.
We're a great fan of Kate and what she's Echo de Eco. I mean, the fantastic content. It's so interesting, and so again, it really just pulls you in. So hats off to you.
Yeah. And then I saw somebody from Australia posted, check out all these water refill spots all around in Australia. So you guys retweeted that as well. Yeah. I can't believe you guys are abroad as well. This is amazing.
Yesterday we had our first cafe in Kenya. We have cafes in Venezuela, in Curacao, Israel, Mexico. It's really I don't even know where do people find out about this. And in that sense, again, it's been really surprising.
That's amazing. We have a very long, amazing question from Prasanna. Hi, Robin. Great work. that you and the entire MyMizu team is doing. Superb. Wish you achieve more success and grow global. Question number 1. MyMizu app is available in international app stores?
Yes, it is.
What is your strategy for international markets? So is the international market strategy different from the Japanese market strategy?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So yes, it is available globally. It's available in English and Japanese. And we are looking at expanding to other languages too. In terms of our international strategy, to be honest, Japan is our main focus right now because this is almost the front lines of the problem, right? In many cases, our consumption of plastic is very high here. That being said, we do have our sites on other places as well. We've actually got a team now in Singapore who is doing great work there and expanding the service in Singapore as well. And our idea really from hopefully next month is to create these kinds of satellite teams that can run MyMizu activities and expand the service all over Japan and then all over the world. So the idea is to create this network of teams who believe in our mission and who want to engage. So that's the next step for us.
That's great. He had another question. Some people didn't know the reason you wanted to do it by this year was for the Olympics. So you guys have more time, more time now. But it's definitely going to get done by the Olympics now. Good job. Right?
Yeah. It's a blessing in disguise. Yeah, we were kind of bummed out when we first heard, but it's given us a lot more time to get our stuff together and really expand by then.
Yeah, fantastic. Question number 2, what are the avenues that MyMizu could partner with another organization, for example, an IT company, multinational, like where I work? So maybe reach out to Prasanna and he might be able to do a collaboration with you guys. That's part of the website is you guys are asking
even what we're doing and who want to join the movement, and we can of course explore ideas and brainstorm from there.
Yeah, great. You sent me a great image from Google talking about Google Trends. So between January and April this year, searches for how to live a sustainable lifestyle increased by more than 4,550%, according to Google Trends. That's crazy.
Yeah. You know, my background is with natural disasters. So long story short, and I think I mentioned this last time, but I came back to Japan because of the tsunami in 2011. And I spent about 6 or 7 years working in humanitarian emergencies, not just in Japan, but in many different countries. And what that taught me is that disasters, shocks, stresses, things like pandemics, create an opportunity. It has huge impact, negative impact, of course, the tragic loss of life and so on, but it also creates a new opportunity to rethink the way that we live and rethink our fundamental relationship with nature, for example. So that is one indicator. People are looking for information out there about sustainability. We're seeing, if you go to a local home center, like garden center, people are buying seeds, they're buying pots, people are finally, have the time to plant their tomatoes on the balcony. There's a huge shift towards a more sustainable lifestyle, and in the short term, we've seen this drop in CO2 emissions. Right, anything up to 17% globally. It's a huge drop. But what this means is kind of a warning, because we have to fundamentally drop our CO2 emissions as a global community very quickly. Otherwise, we're going to be in deep trouble. So I think for me, this could be a fundamental turning point where we say, let's emerge from this stronger, and let's be more mindful and sustainable in our ways of life.
Definitely. So I was I was talking to Tokyo Chipo, the staff there the other day, and there was some data that before coronavirus, 80% of everybody looking for travel options, 80% were looking for sustainable options. So whether they found it or not, 80% were searching for that. That's one of the criteria. So definitely since Corona, that's even going to be stronger. So not only in the travel industry, but like you said, just for lifestyle. Since Corona, it's been a big wake-up call to everybody. I think it's
no, definitely
really interesting. Your Tohoku talk was really fun. I found that on YouTube.
Thank you.
Now that was December last year, right? It
Um,
was uploaded December last year. And in the
yeah.
beginning, I don't know if you remember, I just watched it today, so I'll remind you. In the very beginning of your talk, you said, everybody look to the next person and shake hands and smile. And since
Yes.
this
Yeah.
is Corona time, I'm like, oh, wow, you can't do that anymore.
Tut, tut, tut. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But the talk was not about that. The talk was about your amazing Tohoku walk. Do you want to introduce that? Because that is what an experience.
Yeah, the Tohoku region for me has been a really important part of my personal journey. My mother's family originally comes from Miyagi Prefecture around Sendai, which was really devastated by the tsunami in 2011. So it's been a really important part of my personal story. And in 2017, I did a walk along the coastline of Tohoku from Aomori all the way down to Fukushima. And
Wow.
it was about 660 kilometers. It took me about a month. But my idea was to try and shine a light on what was happening in the recovery, because often people forget about disasters and tragedies several years on. So my idea was to try and talk to as many people as I could to capture their stories and to share it with the world. And so that was the kind of foundation of this. I called it a mini expedition. But it was so much fun, and I had honestly the best time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
The talk is great. If anybody goes on YouTube, you can search TEDx Tohoku University and find Robin Lewis's talk there. It's really fun, and you have some great stories along the way. People buying you takoyaki, was it, or yakitori or something? And people
yeah,
insisting that you not sleep outside even though it was summer. Like you've got so
yeah.
many beautiful stories of connecting to local people and local culture. And Melanie Brock yesterday was talking about Tohoku and her strong connection there as well. So
No, it's a wonderful place, and honestly, the people were just are just phenomenal. And in terms of hospitality, in terms of their insights on life, I think once you go through a tragedy of that magnitude, I think there are so many things that we can learn, and I had so many just really memorable experiences up there.
yeah. Okay, let's go back to the MyMizu app a little bit. So on your
Sure.
website, you talk about the MyMizu app is a way to discover, a way to refill, and a way to track. So those are the
Yep.
three targets for users, right? And then the reason to sign up as a business, I think maybe we should talk about this a little bit because you might get some businesses to sign up who are listening. Do you wanna?
Thank you. Yeah, it's sure as a business, and that can be a cafe, a restaurant, hotel, co-working space. It can be a bakery. I mean, we have a whole range of businesses on board the platform. First of all, it's free to register. There's no cost, and all you have to do is essentially agree to give people free water when they come through the door. And you might ask, why would any business do that? And it's really simple. I mean, we offer three key benefits. One is that it helps to bring people through the door. So that brings a whole new opportunity to smell the coffee, to look at the cakes, to experience the store. And secondly, it helps companies to enhance their public relations. They can say, look, we're doing something about the environment. We're helping this fight against plastic waste. And thirdly, it also helps them to build relations with their local community, because some people want to come in, especially when it's hot during summer. Maybe Oji-chan or Ba-chan want to come in and get some water, and that can also be a great way of, again, just making a small contribution to the community. So it's free to register, and you can do it very in a few minutes on our website as well. So please do if anyone's watching out there.
Yeah, and I was at Patagonia, Hiroshima, and I saw that they had a refill water container. And so I said,
Yeah,
do you guys know about MyMizu? You guys should really sign up. And they had not heard of it. So I was really
yeah.
happy to help them sign up. And so then I think there's a few businesses, hopefully, in Hiroshima now signed up. But yeah, it's a pretty straightforward process. But the manager of the place has to do it, right? Like someone
Exactly. Yeah.
someone who's a customer, you're not going to be able to sign a business up because they need to give approval for this, right?
Right. Yeah, and I just want to say, like, I remember when we got the email. Every time a cafe or restaurant email registers, we get a notification to our email address. And I remember seeing Patagonia Hiroshima, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I was so happy. So,
Yay!
thanks, thank you. That really made. I was smiling from ear to ear. So, thank you so much
Good,
for that.
good. Well,
And
I,
yeah,
I
since then we've.
always I always suggest it when I do business consulting, when I talk to destinations who want more visitors. And I always mention you guys and I say, listen, when it gets hot in summer, if they have this app, you guys are listed for free on this app. People are going to seek you out and come in your shop, whereas they might not otherwise, you know? So it's a great reason to do it.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's free PR essentially, and it's a great way of contributing to a serious environmental
Fantastic.
problem. So
And then
yeah.
this part about support MyMizu. So become a MyMizu supporter. That's kind of what we were talking about before. Prasanna was talking about.
Yes, that's right.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the companies that have supported you. So we talked about MyMizu Denki already.
Yep.
You were also in Ginza magazine.
Yeah, I guess we've been quite lucky with media coverage. I
Yeah,
mean,
great.
not just in Japan. We were on NHK, Asahi TV. We've had some really great coverage. And I don't know how these things happen. I think they just happen, and we get very lucky. So, not much to say there. But yeah, it's been great, and that's really helped in terms of expanding the movement and getting shops on board and all kinds of other stuff. So we've been very grateful for that.
That's great. And you have a Kobe Urban Innovation collaboration?
Yes, that's right.
Is
So
that top
this is
secret,
kind
or
of
can you tell us about that?
No, it's definitely not top secret. But what we're doing is we're now increasingly working with local governments, such as the wonderful people at Kobe City, who are very forward-thinking, very innovative in what they do. And so what we're doing is we're helping to raise awareness of the water quality in Kobe to the citizens there. And through that, we're helping to reduce plastic consumption. So that collaboration has been in the works for about 5 months now, but currently due to Corona, it's kind of on hold and hopefully resuming very shortly. And on top of that, we're also discussing a lot with other local governments too. So yeah, watch this space as well.
That's awesome. And you guys were part of Impact Tech Social Change Makers Program. Do you want to introduce that? Is that top secret?
Yeah, Impact Tech is.
Okay.
No.
Okay, good.
I don't think anything is top secret.
Okay, good. It was on your website. Yeah.
Yeah. Since we began, we've actually been supported by many accelerators. I think we've been now 4 or 5 accelerator programs. One is by Tokyo government, one is by Impact Tech, which is a fantastic organization. One is by UNDP, the United Nations Development Program, and one is by Shivas Venture, which is one of the world's top social business competitions, which we were very fortunate to co-win, if that's even a term. And essentially with Impact Tech, they are an organization that helps social entrepreneurs and social impact organizations to grow and scale their operations. So they've helped us with everything from seminars to connecting us to mentors, and we're really grateful in that space, as well as Nippon Foundation. So Impact Tech and Nippon Foundation are working together to support social entrepreneurs.
That's awesome. When I read a little bit about Impact Tech, and it's all over the world, and it seems like a great place for people with sustainable ideas like you guys to contact them and get some advice and support. It sounds like a great organization. So I had never heard of them before.
Yeah, I would check out their website. This current accelerator program is the second one, and I think they're going to do another one and another one as well. So Nippon Zaidan, Nippon Foundation, and Impact Tech are doing really great work in that space.
That's great. Yeah. So you have had some organizational support, which has helped you guys as well. And you haven't just done it on social media. I think a lot of people need to understand there's a lot of support around you guys to help with success as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we would be nowhere without the people supporting us, from companies to organizations as well. So we're very fortunate.
Great. Another one was Youth Collab.
Yeah.
That's
the UNDP, so the United Nations Development Program and Youth Collab. They have a program where, again, they have a competition. They invite people to apply, and then we had like a final pitch kind of competition to a panel of judges, and to those who won or to those who were selected, were kind of admitted into this accelerator program. So that's another one that we have been very fortunate to be a part of.
Okay, great. We've had a question. Let
Sure.
me get rid of this. Sorry. Okay. This is all new to me. I'm a technician and talking at the same time. Okay, Tomomi Harada says, hello, I didn't know about MyMizu. Can you find Mizu Place even in a park on the MyMizu app?
Yes, you can. That's a great question. I may have mentioned before, we have 3 types of water points. One is public places. That means not restaurants. I keep calling them restaurants.
Businesses.
Parks, train stations, and so on. Second is private places. That means like cafes, restaurants. And third is also spring water. So public places, private places, and also spring water as well. And right now across Japan, or from Okinawa all the way to Hokkaido, we have several thousand of these points, and many of them are parks. So yes, you can.
Yeah, I think the parks are the best because they're the easiest to find, maybe. Spring water on a hike, that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, we had some great spring water in Hokkaido. And I highly recommend it. So yeah, that's the next frontier is locating all of Japan's spring water.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I went on a hike in England with my in-laws there, and my father-in-law goes on trail runs all the time. So he knew about the old secret water areas that you have to open something and look inside and there's a secret spring. I thought that was fantastic, like a secret water.
I like that.
So
yeah, actually, in Japan as well, some regions in Japan are famous for spring water. Like I mentioned, Hokkaido, also Kumamoto. I mean, there are so many places that have just the most delicious water for free. It's just lying there. And of course, many of it is tested. They do stringent testing to make sure it's safe and so on. So there are many little gold mines of water all over the country.
Yeah. Tomomi says, wow, interesting. Thank you. Thank you for your question, Tomomi. That's awesome. Definitely check out MyMizu and start adding your favorite park places or spring water.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. One other thing, you guys are great about saying thank you to people who are using the app, but also you guys collaborate a lot with other organizations which are trying to reduce waste or do sustainable stuff. So I think I had one. Let's see. Can you think of any that you did recently? Oh, here, Zero Waste Takeouts.
Oh yeah, that's something. Our friend Mona from No Plastic Japan, she made an article about places where you can take out without the plastic waste. So we're just helped by promoting that. But yeah, she's doing really, really great work as well.
So that's on Instagram, is it? No Plastic Japan?
Yeah, if you check out No Plastic Japan, she's got a great page going on there as well.
Okay, great. That's also something I often suggest when I do consulting, is it helps everybody if you recommend other businesses, if you recommend other places. I know it seems counterintuitive, right? Like a business is like, why should I recommend another business? It's like a rival, right? But it actually helps everybody, right? So I really appreciate you guys doing that.
And it's all about growing the whole pie, right? It's not about just growing our piece of the pie. If we grow the whole market, the whole community, then it's a win-win situation.
That's right, definitely. I was listening to Gary Vee recently, and there was a guy saying, my TikTok channel is just not as popular as another guy's, I'm really happy for him, but, right? And then he was going, and Gary's like, no, stop. Just say you're happy and stop, right? Don't be jealous. I know it's so
Yeah.
hard, right? It's so hard not to be jealous of somebody who's doing something similar, but you know what? Just support them and be like, that's great what you guys are doing, and just do your best authentically for yourself and keep
Yeah.
putting content or information out about what you're doing as well. It doesn't serve anybody being jealous, right?
Oh, definitely. And actually, on that note, I want to just give you a massive shout out for all of the work that you do on. You're on Instagram, you're on Twitter, on Periscope. I mean, you're doing things that we kind of, you're like 5 years ahead. So, hats off
Oh,
to you and all
I
the
can give you
you
some
do.
tips. That's easy.
Yeah, please, yeah, teach.
I'm learning. I'm learning everything. During Corona, this is my best time to learn about digital marketing. So I would
Great.
recommend investigating if you use Macs. Do you use Macintosh
Yeah,
computers?
I do. I'm a Mac, yeah, Mac
Mac,
user.
yeah. Check out Ecamm Live,
Okay, I'm making
ECAMM.
a note.
Ecamm.
Okay,
And then they've got loads of great tutorials on YouTube about how to use their software to integrate comments, to stream it using another restream I'm using. There's lots of different versions, but I find Ecamm really, because of all the tutorials, it's really easy to get your head around. So my
that's great. I'll check it out.
recommendation.
Definitely.
Hopefully they'll give me a
Sounds good.
discount on my next year's one.
Yeah.
Okay, Katie has written a comment. Hi, Joy and Robin.
Oh,
I joined a bit late, Gomen, but can Robin give an introduction to some of the MyMizu team who is behind the
oh yeah.
scenes and what they do in their roles if he hasn't already? Katie, great question. Do we have a
Great question.
picture of your team? We must have.
You know what? They're all over our Instagram. So if you go to our Instagram, we have like team member introductions and things every week.
How do I?
But to answer your question, Katie, I mean, we have a really talented, very dedicated, and most of all hilarious and really just fun team. So we're really fortunate in that aspect. We have people doing things from our SNS to our social media, that is, to operations on our e-commerce site, to marketing, writing blogs. We have a whole group of people. Roughly, I think we have about 20 kind of official team members now helping us in different regards. So yeah, they're just really an awesome bunch. And we're also, I mentioned this earlier, but we're going to do more Insta Live sessions with our team members so that we can all get to know them a bit better in a fun and kind of lighthearted way.
Yeah, and that's the page I'm showing now is your Instagram Live team. You can see some of your team members there. And we didn't talk about your ambassadors. Let's introduce some of your MyMizu ambassadors too.
Yeah, so
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yep. So last month we announced two really awesome ambassadors. One is Aif Taki, she's a world famous freediver. I mean, just a phenomenal human being. She's got the Guinness Book of World Records in 2 classes of freediving. And she's also a photographer, an artist, an activist. She's a really just an inspiring woman. And she's now one of our MyMizu ambassadors. We also have Kenny Kaneko, who is, again, just a remarkable athlete and also a great community leader and a really great thought leader as well. He is Japan's 4-time SUP champion, SUP being stand-up paddling. He's also number 6 in the world, according from last year's competition. And he organizes events in his local community. He's a real inspiration to young people and all over Japan and all over the world, in fact. And so we're now teaming up with these kinds of ambassadors to kind of boost our message and get even more people involved because we believe that fundamentally you have to send good, positive messages. We can shout about the climate crisis all day long, but ultimately, we pull people with hopefully a fun and positive message, and these ambassadors are really a really critical part of that. On that note, we are announcing hopefully a few other ambassadors soon. So again, watch our Instagram and watch this space.
Yeah, that's exciting. We have a comment from Selena. She says, I love all the Hafu fam on your team. So you have a
Yeah,
multicultural, multilingual, right? Multicultural
yeah,
team, and you guys are
yeah.
representing many different cultures and languages and nationalities. It's great diversity.
Yeah, I mean, they say what's the saying? You should never be the smartest person in the room, and I am hands down the least smart person in the room. So again, we are surrounded by people who speak Russian, Chinese, all kinds of languages. And again, it's a really fun atmosphere because we all understand that we're different, but we're also united by a common vision and a common passion. So yeah, not they're not all Hafu and all half Japanese. Many are non-Japanese, many are Japanese. We do have this great mix of people.
That's awesome. And you guys have men as well as women on the team. You do have a real diverse, nice group. And
Yeah, yeah.
so much energy. No matter where you're from, you guys are full of energy.
We try, we try.
What's
I think at
what's the
night I just
secret?
drop
What's
out.
the secret? Lots of coffee.
Oh, ice cream, late night cereal. I eat cereal at night. This is the worst habit in the world.
Oh my
No,
gosh,
I
eight
think
months ago
honestly,
when I interviewed you, you were eating chocolate cereal or Captain Crunch or something. And you were training
yeah,
for a marathon. And I said, how are you eating that sugar cereal? You're crazy. I can't hold
no,
it back. I'm a mother.
no. I've slowly weaned myself off
Oh,
this
you did?
terrible habit. But yeah, rest assured that I'm looking after myself. And we do, one fun thing that we do, for example, is when we have team meetings. Every morning we do squats. When we have a full team meeting with the whole gang, we do a really fun workout. It's called the coronavirus workout. And you're basically like you punch a fake virus or an image of a virus. It's a really fun thing. You have to check it out on YouTube. But we do also integrate a lot of fitness and well-being into our work style as well.
That's great because drinking lots of water is part of a healthy lifestyle. So,
Exactly.
I can't believe people don't drink water. Don't you meet people sometimes and they're like, I don't really drink water. I drink juice or tea. And I was like, what? How can you not drink
I hear
water?
that. Yeah, I hear that all the time. But you know what's interesting is if you give someone a bottle, they drink. Everyone tells me since having a bottle, they've increased their water input by like 3 times, right?
That's good.
And there's a saying like in Brazil or something that water is beauty, and there's so many different I don't know medical and also physiological benefits of drinking water, right? When I'm fully hydrated, I feel like 10 times more genki, right, than when I'm
And your
dehydrated.
skin, I mean, you're young, so you got great skin. But
Oh no, no.
as you get older, the more water you drink, there's so much better for your skin.
Right, right, right.
It's
So
better
yeah,
for everything. Do you want to
yeah.
talk a little bit about Mir, the company that made your merch?
Sure. I mean, shout out to
Great
Mia
bottles.
and also the distributor in Japan is called Sunwest. And we're working closely with them on the production of the bottles. But Mia is a really cool company because it's a B Corp, which is a type of corporation that is very socially and environmentally conscious. And what's really neat is that on every item at the bottom, there is something called a unique give code. And what that means is essentially a part of the profit from each bottle will be donated to a social or environmental cause. So if you type in this unique give code into the website, you can see exactly where your donation has gone and what it's doing. So it's a very radically transparent and responsible way of doing philanthropy through business.
That's awesome. Transparency is so important and accountability, right? Talk, yeah. Are you
No,
okay?
definitely, yeah.
Okay.
I think my connection's going down a bit.
Oh, okay. We've got one more minute.
Could you say?
Any final words?
Okay.
The future of MyMizu, the future of social innovation Japan. You started doing more online events for social innovation Japan.
Yeah.
It's tough because you guys were having events in person, right? Like TED Talk type things. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's tough, but I also see it as a really, really big opportunity because, as I said before, I mean, we now have no geographic boundaries, right? And we've done workshops via Zoom, for example, and the ability to communicate and have teamwork even via an online platform like Zoom has been really surprising for me. So I see this as a whole new opportunity. Just generally speaking, I think as we begin to emerge from this pandemic, I mean, fingers crossed, and touch on wood and whatnot, I think really that there is a huge opportunity to shift our society into a much more sustainable version of what we had before. And there's so much talk about green recovery and how we can implement environmentally friendly stimulus packages and all this stuff. So I see, maybe I'm eternally optimistic and I'm delusional, but I see a huge opportunity for good things to come out of this tragic situation that we're in. So I'd love to work together with you, with everyone who's listening, to make our society more sustainable and also to have fun and just have a good time as well.
Definitely. On that note, I think we can end. We're exactly at 1 hour. Thank you so much, Robin Lewis, for giving us so much of your time and insight and for all of your energy in doing such a great thing for the planet and for people and making income to support you guys so you can keep going. You know, that is the really difficult thing, right? You doing people and planet seems easy, but getting enough income to keep going, that's hard, right? So I really respect what you guys have been doing. You've been doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. And same to you. You're doing I'm a massive fan of your work and what you do to create community and get good information out there is so critical in this movement. So
thank you so
hats
much.
off to you and I hope to chat again soon. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you everybody for joining us and for your amazing comments and questions. Please join us again tomorrow at 5. We're going to talk to Marissa Gellerserschner. I don't know how to say her last name. She makes the Echo Hachi wraps and talking about sustainability and family life in Tokyo. So that'll be a really good one. Thank you so much for tuning in and see you again tomorrow. Bye.